Oh my god, this is the book that makes me want to make poor decisions. I finally wanted to get into this book, this super hype book. This is not the special edition. I didn't pick up the special edition before it sold out. Sadness, because I feel like I'm gonna like this book. Everyone I know and everyone that knows my book taste has told me this book is actually gonna blow my socks off, and I really wanted to vlog it, and I felt like this was a great entryway back into filming videos and talking about books on the internet, since I'm feeling like a lot. In case you don't know, I am in my first year of residency, which is called my intern year, and it has been a lot. I don't know anything about this book other than that there's two main characters and it's kind of an enemies, knives to the throat, lovers romance sort of thing, but I don't know anything. I know that there's dragons, obviously that hasn't escaped me, but I feel like I've been pretty good about staying away from spoilers of this book. I don't talk to people about this book. I literally swipe so fast if I see this book on my FYP or in my Instagram homepage, because I really wanted this book to be like, I want it to be a mystery. I wanted to enjoy it just like everyone else has enjoyed it. The reason I hadn't picked it up in all this time was because I kept waiting for the perfect time. The perfect time will come where I can sit down and, you know, leisurely read through this book and take my time with it and annotate it and enjoy it. Realistically, like, that's just not in the cards for me right now. That'll probably be in maybe like a year that I'll have the time to like leisurely sit down and annotate this book the way I would love to annotate it. I'm gonna read this book in the way that I can, using the audiobook, annotating where I can, and reading it when I can. I just realized like there's not gonna be a perfect time this year. If I really love this book that much, I'll go back and annotate it later on when I have more time. I just want to read again. Something that has been helping me read, and I just wanted to like spotlight it in case you're lazy. I don't even think it's lazy, because I think this is actually something that is like great for anyone that has accessibility problems, anyone with chronic illnesses, anything like that. But the whole like Kindle remote with like the stand and everything, phenomenal device, and I really like it. I think, yes, it's bulky. No, it's not the prettiest thing to have on your bedside, but does it get the job done? Yes. And I feel like this was the only way that I was reading this month. I've only read 3 books this month. One of them was on my Kindle and the other one was an audiobook and Kindle book. I really recommend it. I like see it all the time on like Amazon and TikTok and Instagram Reels, and I love it. That's like my formal review on this device contraption thing. So just wanted to give you guys a heads up on that one, and let's begin.
Recorded Books presents.
Just being honest, what's the big difference? And I've been feeling.
A dragon without its rider is a tragedy. A rider without their dragon is dead.
Hello, so I've read the first chapter of the book, and I feel like I got now a grip of what this book is about and what I should expect from it. I just want to say, like, I get the hype. This writing style is really good, and it makes me want to continue flipping the pages. The audiobook narrator is actually the same one from the Carval series. I think she does a lot. Rebecca is the audiobook narrator's name. She does a lot of YA and like new adult books, so I'm not surprised I'm liking her audiobook narration. But the end of the first chapter and how it starts is so good. So just like a recap in case you don't know what this book is about but you don't want it spoilery. This book starts off on the day, kind of like this initiation day that they have for people that are joining the army in this like very militarized culture, fantasy world. Our main character, Violet, she has to join one of these like professions in the military, and originally she wanted to be a scholar, and that's what she trained her entire life for. But then 6 months ago, the mother, who's also like a high-ranking general in the army, was like, nope, you're gonna go be a dragon rider now because that's what you're supposed to do. She's like totally not ready. She also has like chronic disease, which makes her very weak and experience a lot of pain. I do think it's like fibromyalgia or like Ehlers-Danlos or something. I don't, obviously, like there's no name. I'd have to look it up what like Rebecca Yarros wanted it to be. I digress. It's not about that. And so as she's getting ready to go, her sister's like, by the way, there's this guy called Zayden Royson or something, and if you see him, like run away. He's gonna try to kill you because he was part of it. Not him, his family was like part of like an insurgency that tried to overthrow the current government, and he ended up in the school of dragon riders, and he's like one of the head dragon riders, the 3rd year. And that's like the first thing she says, like, don't let him catch you. And so this isn't a spoiler because in the first chapter he is like there, he's present, he knows what she is. And like they end the first chapter with, why should I waste my energy killing you when the parapet will do it for me? I was like, The parapet is this thing that they have to cross to get to the actual like school of the dragon riders, and it's like a dangerous like journey where there's like water and everything. So I like it. It's high stakes. It's like action packed from the beginning, and I'm like digging it like high key. I'm gonna probably read the next chapter. I don't know, I'm really tired. This is a book that makes me want to make poor decisions, like staying up all night, but it's already 10:30 and I have to get up tomorrow by like 4:50. So it is 11:43 p.m. and I have work tomorrow and I'm still reading. I've played myself with this book. This is why I couldn't read it. This is what happens to me when I read books that like I know are gonna hit, you know? I also look crazy. My hair looks crazy. Everything looks crazy, but that's fine. Okay, we're gonna read this one last scene, and then once she gets a win, we're gonna close the book for a bit and then go to bed. 4:49 a.m. I went to sleep at like 1 in the morning reading this godforsaken book. And I also think I look like I'm some sort of police interrogative, so that's perfect. But oh my god, it's so good. Like, I think the hype is so real. This is exactly what I needed to get me excited for reading again. I'm gonna be like, I'm always chasing this book high, but also it's like at the expense of my sleep right now, so like I'm not very happy about it, but I digress. Why do I like it? Why couldn't I put it down? Why do I think people like it so much? That was an alarm. In all honesty, I think it's because of the writing style and the pace. It is so fast paced. It is action first, and world building's like it's interwoven, in my opinion, very seamlessly into the action. So you're getting the plot and the character building and growth at the same time, but I would say that the action is the most important thing. And I have to admit, with how people talk about this book, I expected a lot of spice like up front. And like, yeah, we're getting our attention and our little like, what's going on? But I'm not getting like, you know, like some muddy, like people talk about this book online. So I think that if you go into this book wanting that, you're gonna be disappointed, because it's not like that, at least thus far. I love the plot progression. Something I didn't expect was the disability wrap. And I really like how we have like this one character, I won't say who, but they kind of personify like all of like Violet's insecurities when it comes to her disability, and kind of undermine her every time she shows strength and like overcomes them. And I really like, the only thing I hope is that there's not some sort of like magical band-aid, which I don't like that when it comes to disability in books, where like the disability disappears or something like that, because I think most people with disabilities could read this and see themselves in it. And I don't know, I've really liked it. I've gotten like really excited, not emotional yet, I'm sure I will, but the big plot thing happened. I'm on page 199. By the way, am I the only person that stops like in the middle of a chapter? I love it. And then I like the plot twist that happens that intractably links Violet with someone else in this book. I dig it. And I really want to know more about the dragons and like how their society works, and I really want to get that insight, because I think there's something here that we're missing, in particular about a certain yellow dragon. So I really want to take the book with me to work, but I also know like I'm not gonna have downtime to read. Satan is actually one of the hottest characters I've ever seen written, and I'm obsessed with their interactions. Like, actually, this is what I'm talking about when it's enemies to lovers. None of that like, you know, antagonizing to lovers. I love it. I love it. But also like, he is fair enough to give people their props when it deems it, and I really enjoy that. So anyways, I have to get to work on a Sunday. I'll see you after the function. So it is the next day, and yesterday I came home. I was so exhausted that I just passed out. Well, actually no, I read 100 pages. I made it to chapter 25, page 311. So I'm already more than halfway through the book, almost 2/3 through the book. I feel like right now the scenes that we're getting are kind of setting us up for some like big drama llama that's gonna happen. I'm gonna be honest, I can't even pinpoint what's so addicting about this book. It has so many components that just make you want to keep watching, and like the best way I can compare it it to is like, you know how in a K-drama, like it takes forever for the main characters to kiss? That's what this book feels like. Like the tension and the anticipation of what's to come like makes you want to keep going. But it's not just the romantic aspect, it's also like the action aspects makes you keep flipping the pages and keep being interested in what's happening. And I think that the stakes are just so incredibly high because you never know what's gonna happen next. I wouldn't say that I've predicted anything in this book. It keeps me on my toes completely. I predicted one thing, which came true, but it had to do with more like the lore and everything like that of the dragons. I won't get into what it was, but if you message me, I'll tell you what it is. The consensus that I've heard is like people that don't even like fantasy books, like they like this book. Right now, I'm so tired. I'll be folding for a while. I'll see you when I pick up the book again.
2,000 years later.
The entire room breaks into. Tell me I lost my mind. What if we pull up at him?
That was epic. Epic. I can't deal with this book. It just like gives me like, this is why I didn't pick it up until my day off, because I knew that I was gonna want to just read it the entire time. But like, oh my god, Xaden actually, like, he makes my world come alive whenever he's on the screen, and I love him. And I'm just like, Team Xaden, ride or die till I die. Like, oh my god. And now like I already pre-ordered. In case you're wondering, you can still pre-order the black sprayed edges of the second book that's coming out, Iron Flame, I think that's what it's called. I already pre-ordered it because there's no way that I'm not getting that sprayed edge cover, book, everything, and I'm so excited. But it comes out in November, so that's what sucks, okay? So anyways, I'm gonna keep reading, but like, oh, so fucking good. So good! Tested her power. I'm still sitting here. I feel like this is gonna be one of those days where like I sit and finish the book in one sitting, but oh my god, like, duh, shots fired between Xaden and Dane, like finally getting it together. Like, oh, like he needs to hear this. Like Dane needs to understand what's happening. Oh my god. I finished The Fourth Wing and my life will never be the same after reading the last sentence. I'm absolutely, what? How am I gonna wait until November? Oh my god, this book just like changed my chemistry. I like literally could not put it down from the moment I picked it up again. And I'm like, it's a good thing I didn't because I had so many things to do, but I'm just like, I cannot believe that this ended in this note and that like I'm starving because I haven't eaten lunch. I haven't eaten, now it's time for dinner. Actually, no, it's still pretty early since I woke up so early. It's only 4 p.m. and what am I gonna do with the rest of the day? I cannot believe it. Oh my god. I need to collect my thoughts and then I'll be right back. I'll be right back. I have sat with this book for 24 hours and I've gathered my thoughts and I've processed it. I really like this book. I think that what surprises me about how much I like it is that it is one of the first books I've read in a really long time where I turned off like my writing brain and I was just in my enjoyment brain. And like if I sit here for too long and I think about like, was that a plot hole? Was that a plot device? Was that just very convenient? Was that really necessary? But overall, like I read this book as just like a reader, and for me as a reader, it's a 5-star book. I think that it is very enjoyable, and I think what this book does that is so valuable is that it gets people that maybe aren't reading into reading it. I think that's like the same attraction that like Sarah J. Maas books have of like getting people that weren't readers into reading again, or maybe people that took a break from reading into reading again. What this book really has going for it is how fast-paced it is and how immediate everything feels. It just feels like the stakes are so high. It makes you want to keep turning the pages. I think this book is really good for people that maybe have not read any fantasy romance in the past. I think it is very approachable. When I go into thinking about the world building, I'm like, I don't know if that makes sense, but like, go off, queen. I don't think this is one of those books where you should be thinking and like analyzing the world building and the magic system like for hours on it. I think this is a book like take it as it comes and like enjoy it in that way, but don't think about it too hard. Does that make sense? I'm really excited. I've already ordered the second book. I think there's gonna be 5 books in this series, which is insane to me. I feel like it's even more insane because of how this ended, which I did see coming after like probably around like the 75% mark. I was like, I know exactly what's gonna happen, but it was still like a fun ride, and like I finished it in one sitting, so I don't think that that takes away from what the ending was. So yeah, I'm just grateful that this book got me back into reading and excited, and I feel like ever since I read it, I've been really into reading again, which I hadn't been into it since I started work, because it's just like really hard sometimes to sit and enjoy something when like you know that there's so many other things that you should be doing. And I think also just like the general exhaustion I've been feeling had a lot to do with me not engaging in my hobbies and not filling up my cup despite it being very drained at work, because at the end of the day, like my job is very draining, and I think it's draining for anyone that's in it. I don't think it's me. Some people handle it better than others, but I still need those sort of like entertainment and creative outlets for me to survive. And like that's like a little reminder for you if you're in a hard work situation or life situation, that it's okay to take time for yourself and take time to enjoy the things that you like to enjoy. So on that note, I will be ending this vlog. Thank you so much for watching. If you've read this book or if I've convinced you to read it, please let me know in the comments below. If you have any recommendations for books that give this vibe, let me know, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.